But do we want to talk about Elphaba and Glinda's relationship specifically?
It was a pre-Owl House world, so
Yeah.
in terms of like magical style, school, academia, Regency romance, but they're girls.
Yeah.
I love the pre-Owl House, post-Owl House world. What an earth-shattering revelation we had.
Ooh, happy Halloween! This is the first time we've made an overt reference to releasing on Halloween or around it. Today, we're talking about Wicked. We're talking about a very recent movie, but also the broader canon, I suppose, of Wicked and its adaptations. My name is Michael. I'm a sound designer joined by two other sound designers, and we talk about things we're nostalgic for, like books, TV shows, and movies, and we revisit it now as adults and see if it moves the needle for us at all. And surprise, it often does. We'll see how that tracks for Wicked today, especially considering I think we're going to be talking a lot about the most recent adaptation of Wicked. I am joined by those two sound designers, those two others I mentioned previously. We have to my left...
Victoria.
And we have to my left...
Oh.
What?
What?
I was just going to see if I could, like...
Get me to, like, it's like a button.
Yeah, like just...
Victoria.
And we have to my left...
Victoria.
And we have to my left...
Victoria.
And we have to my right...
No, you missed your chance. You missed it. I'm not saying it now.
No, we have to my right...
Nope.
No.
Hi, I'm Jino. I think this is the most recent thing, because it's Nostalgia Club. We talk about things that came out a while ago. But Wicked came out recently.
Like last year.
Last year.
We are releasing this before Wicked for Good comes out in November. So we aren't going to obviously have thoughts about that. But this one we're mainly going to talk about just Wicked in general. I was a big fan of Wicked the musical, mainly listening to the soundtrack as a kid. Just general spoiler alert, if you don't know what happens in Act 2 of Wicked, we're probably going to talk about things that happened in Act 2. So if you don't want to be spoiled for things that will probably happen in Wicked for Good, then don't listen to this episode yet.
Nice.
Just putting that out there for people. I am really excited for Wicked for Good because Act 2 of the musical, I prefer Act 2 songs to Act 1. So I'm hyped. And every time I watch the trailer, I get chills. So those are my vibes.
Let's talk about Wicked then.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. I think Victoria is probably the best person to prime us because you are like in the Wicked soup.
I don't claim to be like an expert about Wicked, but my background is when I was in middle school, my class sang For Good. I think it was our 8th grade graduation song. And that was the first time I'd heard the song. And so after that, I decided to listen to the rest of the soundtrack, which was the original Broadway recording with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. And I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I knew all the lyrics and I would just sing along, try to sing all the parts all at once, the usual. And then I think when I was either in late high school or early college, I got a chance to see Wicked during a traveling performance in Denver. So that was cool. I had loved this soundtrack for so long, and I was like, I get to finally see it in live theater in front of me. And it was like the first notes of No One Mourns the Wicked, when you like feel that bass, I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Nice.
And then when they announced the musical movie, I was admittedly apprehensive, mainly because I just in general think that it's really hard to adapt a musical and do it well. Like we've talked about various like musical adaptations on this podcast. For the most part, they're pretty good. Like the Mean Girls musical adaptation was good, but there was still stuff that it was lacking that was just kind of like, I don't know, like, is it going to have the same magic? And I have thoughts about the movie, which we will get into, but overall, I did enjoy it, and I am excited for part 2.
Nice.
What about you two? What's your background of Wicked?
I don't have a huge one. I think I became aware of it at some point when I was
That's
like
right.
a teenager.
I think like people just, even if you haven't like listened to the soundtrack or watched or seen the musical, you probably at least are generally aware of Wicked.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the longest running Broadway musicals.
Yeah, so I think I definitely like came across the soundtrack first. I mean, Defying Gravity is sort of the
Iconic.
big like poster child song in a way of the whole affair.
More popular than popular.
Ironically so. So I think I became aware of it through there and then sort of osmosised various elements of it just over time, which has certainly become more apparent now that the new movies came out, or movie singular, soon to be plural. And so I saw the new one like twice. The first time in New York with my sister, and then the second time in California with my sister.
Oh, nice.
And my mom as well, I think, that time. But otherwise, no crazy, like, lore for me with Wicked. Just, like, an awareness of it, an appreciation of it. Occasionally go through phases of, like, listening to the soundtrack or parts of it and being like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Defying Gravity, watching like the Oscars performance of Idina Menzel where they played the music too fast and she's like gasping for breath trying to sing the whole thing, but marveling at the grandeur of where she flies up into the air and the stagecraft or her giant black cloak flying out beneath her.
Seeing Wicked live, like if you ever get a chance to see it live in any form, highly recommend.
So that's pretty much it. That, and then briefly at various times going like, there's so much there between Glinda and Elphaba. There's so much there.
We'll get into it. Don't worry.
But that's it. Jino.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my mom bought this like 2 CD set that I would listen to over and over and over again. All the songs of the Broadway musical of The Lion King. And I was obsessed with it. And so when I finally got a chance to go to New York with my classmates and we were voting on which musical to see on Broadway, I gave an impassioned pitch for The Lion King, and I was soundly outvoted like 19-1 for Wicked, and I was so mad. And then we went to Broadway and we saw Wicked, and I was blown away. My little mind shattered. I couldn't believe that they were singing these amazing songs, flying above me. The story was so compelling, and then I forgot all of it.
Just briefly, it's funny because when I went to New York with my classmates, we all wanted to see The Lion King, but it was sold out.
Yeah.
So we had to see Phantom of the Opera instead. But Phantom is very good. And we got to sit, like, they purposely seated us so that when the chandelier comes down, it's, like, right above you.
Nice.
And me as not an 8-year-old, a 13-year-old was like, oh, my God. Anyways, sorry.
I love it when stage play leaves the stage and goes into the audience.
Yeah.
I know that's sort of like they poke fun at that.
They do that
sometimes.
in Lion King, too.
Yeah, I think
like,
it's
all
fun.
the animals come down. It's very cool.
Even better than that is when they fly above you.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Against the Dark, or whatever it was called.
Turn off the dark. Wow.
Whoa.
A title.
Insert Imagine Dragons Radioactive. Anyway, watched part 1 of the movie, but I only have the vaguest idea what happens in part 2. I mean, I know the general, big spoilers. I know the general, like, Glinda and Elphaba get back together and they concoct this plot to make Elphaba look bad in order to give the kingdom an enemy. But, like, how they get there, don't remember it. It's going to be like I'm watching it for the first time. Because essentially I am when part 2 comes out. I am excited to talk about it, and I also have a couple thoughts, but probably not as many as you guys because I don't have all the context.
That's totally fine.
Victoria will be our guide.
And now all the pressure's on.
Yeah, no, now I'm feeling so much pressure because I just want to quickly say, like, I saw the musical, like, long ago enough that I don't actually remember a lot of the details of what happened. So when I watched the first Wicked movie, there were a lot of things that happened that I had forgotten about. Because I've just been listening to the soundtrack. So if it's not included in the actual Broadway recording, I probably forgot that it happened. Again, love the live theater performance. And I think the choreography and everything is just like so stunning and fun. But it's not something you can go see all the time. Going to see live theater is a privilege and it's quite expensive. And they're not always in town. So it's like the benefit of a movie is that like it enhances my understanding of the story even more. Yeah, which I enjoyed. But where do we begin? Should we do like a brief plot summary of Wicked?
I'm not going to plot summary of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that people are familiar with that. But in general, you have the Wicked Witch of the West. Her real name, surprise, is Elphaba. She was born to the mayor of Munchkinland. She was born green.
Yeah, she was born green, which was a big shock for both her parents and everyone involved in the labor room. And so everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's green. How's that possible? And her father's like, I can't look at her. And so he sends her away. In the movie, she's raised by some like bear nurses or animal nurses, because in this world, there are animals who can speak. And so she's raised by not her parents, basically.
Yeah. And then we sort of flash forward to the main body of what the story's about. And Elphaba's younger sister is going to this magical academy where she's, she and all of the other young eligibles are going to be trained to do magical things.
Quick correction. Shiz University is a cluster of several different colleges similar to Cambridge and Oxford. And most students do not study magic. There are your typical majors like agriculture, politics, life sciences, etc. Elphaba is the exception because Madame Morrible sees her potential in sorcery and takes her on as a student. Glinda wants to major in sorcery, but was not chosen until Elphaba vouches for her.
Elphaba gets sort of lumped in with them to look after her younger sister, who is more of her father's pride and joy.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of the plot, Elphaba, who is largely shunned by her fellow students for being green, ends up sort of befriending once her enemy, and then by the sort of midpoint, and certainly later in the movie, which is the midpoint of the play, a certain very popular student named Galinda. There's an animal professor. It's the last animal professor at this school, whom we learn is the last animal professor at this school because there's been this movement within Oz to sort of get rid of the speaking animals. And there's certainly some nastiness happening. And that professor gets sort of shunned from the academy. Elphaba befriends a few other people whose names I forget. We can get into them, but they're plants for what will become supporting characters in The Wizard of Oz. Folks like the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and whatnot. And by the end of the first act of the play, which is the end of the first movie that they've made, Elphaba has been invited to the Emerald City to speak with the wizard, only to learn that they plan to use her magical gifts, which are unique among various people because most people don't actually have a lot of magic.
Mm-hmm.
They want to use her magic to invoke these very ancient, powerful spells from, what's the book called? The Grimoire. Not the grimoire, the Grimoire.
Yeah.
They get her to use it once, in which she is able to turn their monkey guards into flying monkeys, and then she realizes that they're evil. And once she realizes that they're evil, she uses her powers to fly away, essentially, sing a big number, part ways with Galinda, who has since changed her name to Glinda, in honor of solidarity of that animal professor that was sent away.
Yeah, because he could never pronounce her name because he was a goat. And so in a kind of selfish, public...
Performative.
Yeah, it was very performative is the word, action of solidarity with the professor. She's like, well, from now on, I will be Glinda.
Elphaba flies away, and Glinda says, I'm going to stay here.
And then just briefly, some Act 2 stuff is Glinda becomes the face for the wizard and Madame Morrible, who's his right-hand sorcerer, and she has powers too. She has some magic, but she's nowhere near the level as Elphaba. And Glinda actually basically has no magic. She has no gifts, but they make her seem like she has a lot of power and she's a good witch to counter the wicked witch, and they pit them against each other. And yeah,
I can begin with something incredibly mundane.
Okay.
Which is that it took me a really long time to see this movie. I watched it specifically for this podcast. But I had a couple friends who went to school for cinematography see it. And they loved it, but their main two complaints were the coloring, which felt very flat.
Yeah.
Surprisingly flat for a movie as colorful as something based on The Wizard of Oz. And the lighting, which at times
the lighting
seemed...
is pretty rough.
Yeah, it seemed blown out. The data was just gone, just blasted away by this harsh white lighting. But going into the movie with that in mind, watching it, I was like, wait, are they emulating stage lighting? Are they making reference to seeing this on a stage? The harsh backlit, the stage lighting coming from behind, especially in the Emerald City scenes. And so with that as reference, retroactively going back, I'm like, maybe that was on purpose. Maybe they're trying to make it seem like it's stage lighting.
Yeah. I am not a cinematographer and I don't have the most knowledge of lighting and coloring. What I do know is... one, they did actually build a lot of these sets, whereas a lot of films nowadays are basically just all green screen, and it's just the actors against a wall acting. They did build a lot of practical sets. I can't speak on the lighting. I just know that it really bugged me in Dancing Through Life. Everything else is so good, like the choreography, everyone's like performing to the max, and then it's just like this giant window in the background, like totally washing everything out. And I was like, what's happening? Why did we do that? Like, the other lighting choices didn't bother me so much as in that moment where I was just kind of like, this really takes me out of the movie, unfortunately, because I can't see what's happening. For the coloring, I think the director, John Chu, actually said in an interview that the coloring was because they wanted to make the movie seem really realistic, like it was shot in the real world, quote unquote, which I still disagree with. Like, I definitely think the movie should have been colored differently.
It's a whimsical world.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because they're like, The Wizard of Oz, like, it is very colorful and vibrant because they were showcasing like Technicolor.
Yeah.
And so maybe they were like, we just got to go the complete opposite with Wicked and just like,
Which is a
I don't
wild
know.
choice to me. If you're inspired by a movie that was the advent of popularizing color in movie, you're going to want to make your movie colorful. Like, it just seems like the logical step.
it's just kind of a bummer. All the costumes and the sets are really incredible, but I just think that the coloring and the lighting took away from it a little bit.
From what I remember, it was pretty colorful.
That's fair.
I don't know. I mean, there were certain moments where I think it came to the fore in a way that was like, oh, I would have liked more of this. Where during, what is it? I think Popular at the end when Glinda's by herself and like everything gets real pink.
It definitely wasn't as bad as I thought when I actually watched the movie, because I think just in the specific scenes that were in the trailer, there were just like more like
Tame.
tan backgrounds and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's by no means like not a colorful movie. I just think they could have done a little bit more or a little bit differently. I don't know. Again, I'm not a cinematographer, so I feel very unqualified to be judging these people for doing their jobs. But
We did pitch ourselves as sound designers
Yeah.
at the start of this.
Yeah. Now that I've derailed us successfully with nerd stuff, let's
was
talk about the
great.
story and characters.
yeah. So one thing I appreciate about this movie, which it is quite a long movie. It's like almost 3 hours,
Yeah.
which is really long. And when I heard that it was going to be 3 hours, I was like, this is just part one. What are you guys doing? And then once I saw the movie, I was like, okay, I understand why it is longer. So the main things I appreciated, again, quick disclaimer, is like these things probably did happen in the musical. It's just that I don't remember them happening. Specifically, like stuff about Elphaba's training with Madame Morrible was given more screen time in the movie, which helped me just understand that relationship better. And also in relation, like Glinda's jealousy of that relationship because she really wants to be a sorcerer and she can't because she wasn't chosen. We got a lot more about Elphaba's childhood and her upbringing, which we don't get as much of in the musical, because in the musical it's very much like, this is the opening number and we're just like showing you a bunch of stuff all at once and it's all happening and you know the important things, which is like she was born green and her father shunned her for that and her life sucked.
Do we want to get into the main conflict outside of the character conflict of the wider thing is basically like targeted animal discrimination as a plot created by the Wizard of Oz in order to give the citizens of Oz an enemy in order to unite them, because theoretically when he first arrived they were warring amongst each other?
Yeah, so this is very much a story about propaganda and how people get into power by manipulating people's fear.
Mm-hmm.
At the start of the movie or start of the musical, you start hearing about like there's like a drought and people are blaming the animals for it. And you start realizing as you meet the characters, you're like, wait a minute, there's this woman who specializes in controlling the weather. I wonder why there's a drought.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, no, so they really don't highlight it. You sort of have to like deduce it by your knowledge of Madame Morrible's character.
Right.
And the small things that you learn about, because she's really not like a super big character. But
Subtly
the things we get are
villainous.
like, so for example, in Act 2, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz is brought to Oz with a tornado that picks up her
Oh.
house. Madame Morrible is the one who made the tornado. they're trying to lure Elphaba out in order to capture her. And so they come up with this idea that's like, what if we spread a rumor that Elphaba's sister Nessa is dead or dying and she'll come out to save her? And someone, I can't remember who, is like, I don't think just a rumor will be enough. So Madame Morrible's like, great, we'll actually kill her.
Oh.
So she summons the tornado to land on Nessa, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the East. Here's the thing. Nessa is actually kind of evil. Not evil, but she does bad things in Act 2. Because their father, who's the mayor of Munchkinland, dies at the end of Act 1. He has like a heart attack from just like shock of Elphaba being like labeled this like enemy of Oz.
Yeah.
And so Nessa becomes governor of Munchkinland. But Nessa is in love with this Munchkin boy named Bach. But she knows that Bach is secretly in love with Glinda. And so as mayor, she strips the Munchkins of their rights so that he can't leave her. So she becomes like a dictator of Munchkinland.
So she's not a wicked witch in the sense that she's using magic, but she's a wicked witch in the sense that she's a totalitarian dictator.
Yes. So she gets squashed by the house, and then the events of The Wizard of Oz play out. So Madame Morrible, she did the hurricane thing. There's like a small line in the movie where she says like, weather is my specialty, and she like stops it from raining. And I was like, lady, there's a drought. We need this rain. Once you learn that Morrible is working with the wizard, it's very obvious that this is a problem. Even if it wasn't caused by her, it's a problem she could have pretty easily solved.
So then Bach is the Scarecrow, and then Handsome Prince Man is...
Bach is the Tin Man.
Bach is Tin Man.
Yeah.
Because hearts. And then the Handsome Prince is Scarecrow because brain.
And then the line that they save, I imagine,
is the line.
Yeah. He's a little cub in the movie, in the first act.
So yeah, Madame Morrible has some magic, but she doesn't have as much magic as Elphaba. So they've been waiting for someone to show up who has... Because there's like a prophecy about the Grimmery, and someone with a lot of magic is going to be able to read it. When the wizard showed up, because the wizard is from our world, and he just flew in on a hot air balloon. And because he has the power of technology, he like tricked people into...
And a lot of charisma.
Yeah, and a lot of charisma.
That
He's like
Jeff
a magician.
Goldblum.
And he's Jeff Goldblum. He tricked the people into thinking he is like the prophesized one who can read the Grimmery.
He lands in the Emerald City, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's Jeff Goldblum.
The reason why they want Elphaba on their side is so that... Because I think people are starting to maybe question if the wizard is actually as powerful as he says he is. But if they have Elphaba who can do actual real magic, then they have no problems. Plus, like, part of their plan is like they had Elphaba turn the monkeys into flying monkeys. That way they can like hunt down any people who are going against the wizard.
So at a certain point, Elphaba turns the flying monkeys to her side.
Yeah, so like with the animals, the drought is caused. They blame it on the animals. They're like, oh, the talking animals are the problem. So they start giving the people an enemy. So at the start of the show, a lot of the animal professors have been fired. A lot of them are just banned from gathering or speaking together. And some animals are just altogether losing their ability to speak because the fear, the pressure, everything. The turning point in Act 2 is Elphaba does almost come back to the wizard's side because she thinks maybe I'm powerful enough now, like maybe it'll work out, like where I can kind of like make change from the inside kind of thing. But then she finds out that Dr. Dillamond, the goat professor, has fully lost his ability to speak. He's just a goat now. And that reminds her like, no, this is a big problem. So obviously, like, the theme of propaganda carries on into Act 2, like, really majorly, because they totally rewrite the narrative.
Yeah.
They're like, Elphaba never went to the Emerald City by invitation from the wizard. It was always Glinda. Glinda's the one who's super magically talented. She was the one who the wizard wanted to see, and then the Wicked Witch just showed up and caused chaos. And then they caused everyone to hate the Wicked Witch. Heavy themes.
Yeah. I didn't remember that Dorothy's story was so entwined in the actual show, Wicked, in the actual musical. I do remember the moment where they make up this whole thing. They're like, oh, yeah, if you throw water on the Wicked Witch, she dissolves. And then that's not true.
So it's not really implied if that's like on purpose or not. It's like once people start fearing the Wicked Witch, they just start making up stuff about her. The main one is that if you throw water on her, she's like so evil that just pure water will melt her. And like Fiyero, who is royal prince guy who Glinda later is engaged to, he becomes like the captain of the Wizard's Guard, and he's like, that's stupid. He's like the one character who doesn't fully fall for the propaganda. He wasn't there for like everything that went down in the Emerald City, but he knows Elphaba, and he's just like, this isn't adding up. Elphaba and Glinda come up with this plan where they're going to take that narrative of like pure water can melt her, and they're going to have Dorothy throw water on the Wicked Witch, on Elphaba, and then Elphaba fakes her death so that she can get away, and then Glinda basically like takes control. She manages to get the wizard to leave with Dorothy through blackmail because, spoilers, the wizard is Elphaba's dad.
Oh.
Yeah. And so she's like, you're the one who did this to her, so you have to leave.
Fair enough.
And he's like, I'm going to leave. Because she basically is like, I will tell everyone about this if you don't leave. So in that way, like, she manages to rescue Oz from the wizard and from Madame Morrible's evil plans, but she loses everything in the process. Like, she loses Fiyero, her fiance. She loses Elphaba, her best friend. She's just alone at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
which
no
is
like
why
there's no resolution for that?
Elphaba and Fiyero leave and they just do something. They just like get to like live their lives in peace.
Yeah.
But Glinda is like in this position of power.
Oh,
so she has
I
to
see.
stay and like
It's lonely at the top.
yeah, which is why like the opening song of No One Mourns the Wicked, when you like listen back to it, you're like, "Oh, this is her trying to mourn with someone." She knows Elphaba's not dead, but in a way she is because she will never be able to see her again. Yeah. But no one knows that. Everyone's like celebrating. And she's like, I'm so sad.
I'm alone.
Yeah.
Wow, how clever.
What can I ask? I've never seen the production all the way through, and it doesn't say so on Wikipedia anywhere. But what happens to Madame Morrible? She just kind of vanishes from the narrative at a certain point.
I also can't remember.
We'll have to watch and
We'll
find
have
out.
to watch and find out.
She has like so much agency as an antagonist in the first like act, it seems.
Yeah, in the second act, I feel like she's mainly there, like, she's just like helping prop Glinda up. Like, she's always just there to be like, Glinda, remember how I told everyone that you were the chosen one? And Glinda's like, yes. Yeah, so I don't remember. I think maybe she dies. It's possible
That would be the most
she
convenient.
dies.
Yeah.
These are like the small details that, again, I am looking forward to in the next movie that will just become more cemented in my brain now that I'm older, I think also.
Because it's been so, like, seriously, so long since I saw the musical. Again, all knowledge of it left my brain. I was surprised that Glinda wasn't more likable in the first act. And I realize it's only the first half of the story. She still has a lot of character growth to go through.
Yeah.
But her switch with Elphaba, where they become best friends, so to speak, but then like her reluctance to betray the crown, that surprised me. Because I do see a lot of people, I guess, celebrate that relationship online.
Yeah. So I personally think that Glinda is not meant to be likable. Her main problem is that she's not willing to give up her personal comfort in order to fight for what's right.
That's the lesson she has to learn at the very end.
And unfortunately, like, she learns it, but like a little bit too late. Like, when Elphaba in Defying Gravity says, like, think of what we could do together, it's true. Like, it's demonstrated by, like, the whole first act of the movie, which is, like, Elphaba shows up, everyone just hates her simply because she looks scary or whatever. But the minute that Glinda decides, no, like, I don't care what other people think, I'm going to make you my friend, that's when everyone's suddenly like, oh, Elphaba, we liked you this whole time. You're so cool. And they're like cheering for her when she leaves for the Emerald City. So it's like Glinda, if she had left with Elphaba at the end of Defying Gravity, they could probably do a lot of good.
Yeah.
She can't bring herself to do it. It's like one of those moments where it's like doomed by the narrative, which is like no matter how close they are, no matter how many experiences they've been through together, where like Glinda has questioned everything that she's grown up thinking, she can't do it. And then she gets fully pulled in, like, she keeps like telling herself like, oh, like I'm still trying to like make change, but she obviously loves being in the spotlight. And Fiero's the one who calls her out on it. He's like, you shouldn't be falling for this. And Glinda's like, but it's so shiny and nice, you know? Yeah. I want to quickly clarify that while I don't think Glinda is meant to be likable, we are meant to understand her. And in fact, recognize that there's a little bit of Glinda in many of us. like when it comes to preferring comfort over going against the norm. Fiyero, on the flip side, like, he has more actionable moments in Act 1 where, like, he and Elphaba help smuggle the lion cub out and free him. And then, at least in the movie, I don't remember exactly what he does in the musical, but in the movie we see him being, like, very visibly conflicted about Dr. Dillamon being fired, and he's still, like, really upset about it, whereas Glinda has just, like, kind of moved on. She was like, yeah, that was sad, but whatever. And Fiero's like, no, this is a problem. Elphaba finds comfort in the fact that at least, like, he's recognizing the signs of trouble. And then in Act 2, he's actually the one who's able to, like, forsake his position of power, become a fugitive for Elphaba and the cause and the greater good.
He gets, like, zapped with a curse or something to become the Tin Man.
No, so what happens to him is he, like, saves Elphaba at some point, and then, like, they're coming up with a plan, but then they get ambushed and he's captured. And so Elphaba, because she fears that he's going to be killed, does a spell from the Grimoire that will make him unkillable.
Yeah.
So it turns him into the Scarecrow.
I keep mixing them up.
No, it's okay. Bach is the Tin Man because he tries to leave Nessa, and then she like steals the Grimoire from Elphaba, but she doesn't know magic like Elphaba does. So she does it wrong, and it starts shrinking his heart. And so Bach is going to die, and Elphaba saves him by turning him into the Tin Man. But of course, he's not happy about that either. He's like, bro, what the heck?
I'm learning all the lore.
Yeah.
Exciting. So then the way the musical is written, if you were to pair characters together, Fiyero and Elphaba work together better because they share similar values. And even though Glinda eventually does also share those values, it takes her way too long.
Yeah.
She's way too late.
Yeah.
She misses her chance. Yeah.
The love triangle in Wicked is a true love triangle. Shout out to a real love triangle. So at the end of the show, Fiyero and Elphaba end up together, and Glinda is alone.
Suffering the consequences of her actions.
She just wasn't willing to give up everything.
Wow.
But did we want to talk about Elphaba and Glinda's relationship specifically?
It was a pre-Owl House world, so
Yeah.
in terms of, like, magical style, school, academia, Regency romance, but they're girls.
Yeah.
I love the pre-Owl House, post-Owl House world. What an earth-shattering revelation we had.
I mean, you know.
You can bully the corporation into making the gay romance happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dana Terrace.
Woo.
Like, you really, really want them to work,
Mm-hmm.
but Glinda just, like, refuses to compromise. And it's a little frustrating. Because it's her character arc is like, you see, like, moments of her compassion, and then she slips back, and then a moment of compassion. And then she makes a really big leap at the dance. But then she starts, like, kind of slipping back again. You kind of want to just shake her.
I mean,
Stop
the
it.
character development is really great because, again, it just shows, like, you don't become a good person overnight. You also don't become a bad person overnight. Glinda tries again and again to do the right thing, and then she just keeps falling short a little bit.
But
and
just barely
Yeah.
every time. But it's just enough to fail.
She, like, almost gets on that broom with Elphaba. And then at the very last minute, they sing this big chorus where they're like, we're doing it. And then Elphaba's like, are you coming? And she's like, I can't do it. Like, she can't just make that one extra leap of faith.
Yeah.
And
then
unfortunately,
she just takes
that's
a little
her
bit
downfall.
too long.
Yeah. But it's so good.
I mean, I'm imagining there's just like a plethora of like fan work, alternate universe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, she figures it out. She figures it out. It's fine. And everything's fixed.
Yes, I obviously see the potential for Elphaba and Glinda. And, like, in the movie, it's, like, really, like, whoa, those eyes, they be looking.
They really don't hold back.
Yeah. The movie starts with, like, a really, like, nice shot of them sitting in a field, and then, like, Glinda leans her head on Elphaba's shoulder, and then you're just, like, sad. I mean, I was just sad because I, like, know how it ends.
Yeah.
But I was just like, dang. They really started with that right out the gate.
And they were roommates.
And they were roommates. I saw a post that was saying, like, Glinda, in a way, helped create the whole Wicked Witch of the West persona because she's the one who gives Elphaba her hat. And she's the one who gives her cape and the broom when she leaves. In a way, like, she not only, like, physically gave her, like, the outfit of the Wicked Witch, but she's the one who helped Elphaba gain the confidence she needed to be able to make that step. Because Elphaba is like, she's always idolized the wizard, and it's only when she realizes, like, ooh, he's been lying to everyone this whole time. Like, I don't want to be part of that.
And he's Jeff Goldblum.
And he's Jeff Goldblum. That she turns away. But I do think, like, Elphaba at the start of the movie, if she had just been, like, brought to the wizard immediately when Madame Morrible discovered that she had talent, I think it would have been a lot easier. Like, an Elphaba with, like, no friends, no self-esteem, nothing.
Yeah.
Just being brought to the wizard. She would have been like, okay, yeah, like, I'll do it. I just want to learn magic. And, like, she could have been so easily, like, groomed for that role, basically. But because Glinda proved you do have worth just as yourself, who cares about the wizard?
It's interesting that you mentioned, like, the 3 objects. The broom, in the movie, the broom isn't really given. It's just sort of, like...
Acquired,
yeah, conveniently picked up. But, like, the hat is given at first with malicious intent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is ugly, you should wear this because you're ugly. But then at the very end, like, the cape is like, oh, it's going to be cold up there. You need...
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a gift of love. And then broom is like, and there's a broom. And now it's here. Complete side tangent, but I love how they do broom riding. Because she's not riding the broom. It's like the broom is pulling her along and she's just kind of like directing it, which I think is just a really elegant way to do broom makes you fly. And then she can hold it out. She just needs to be touching it. Like, it's not lifting her in any way. It's just like magically propelling her.
Yeah.
It's just, I really love that scene. Just like the mechanics of it alone.
What I didn't like about the scene was how they ruined Defying Gravity. Sorry,
okay.
This is where
They really draw it out.
Okay.
Fair.
Defying Gravity needs the build-up to work for the impact, okay? But if you break it up, there's no impact anymore. You lose the tension.
Yeah.
This is my hot take.
Yeah,
it was
weirdly
way too long. I was like, guys, I know this is like the final number and you need it to like be long and big, but unfortunately making it longer, it just loses everything. Like, I did like the moment where she like falls and then she sees her younger self and she like reaches out to like be like, I accept you now. Like, that was great. But yeah, then it's just her like flying back and forth and like singing like a couple verses, and then she flies away, and I was like, is she leaving? Or is she coming back?
I mean, there's a lot of funny, I think a lot of them are like animations or whatever, but basically the equivalent of TikToks. It's the perspective of the guards standing on the tower after she like, decides to do a lap around him.
Yeah.
And you just get this whiff of like, and they're just standing there like, is that everything?
Her?
And then she's like, if you did, they're like, ah.
It's so true. I get it's also supposed to be like a big moment where she's like, I'm really flying. I don't know. I just like, it really irritated me. It honestly felt to me like they were like, okay, it's Defying Gravity. It's everyone's favorite song, like the most iconic song in Wicked. We gotta like give it its flowers. And it can't be like shorter than all these other songs. Because they extended a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Like Dancing Through Life is like technically like 10 minutes long if you exclude the middle part where they do like their dance.
Huh. As a watcher who, again, forgot everything about the musical, to me it felt like, oh, they're not cutting anything from the songs. That's why it's so long. They're including them all verbatim or whatever. But then if they were doing that, no one's going to sit through a 6-hour Broadway musical, I think, right? Like,
well,
Wicked isn't 6 hours.
They didn't cut anything.
But that's what I'm saying is that, like, my initial instinct is like, oh, like, the movie's 3 hours long. The actual Broadway show's maybe like 3-4 hours long. But no, it's just part 1.
Yeah.
So if they were, quote, not cutting everything, where are they getting the rest of this time from? I didn't realize that they were adding time, but it makes sense now.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So they added a bunch of stuff. Like the moment where Elphaba and Glinda dance at the Ozdas Ballroom is like super long, which I appreciate that they did. Like, it's a really important moment, and I didn't fully understand the significance of that moment until I saw it in the movie, and I was like, oh. Like, in the musical, because I did try and find any recording of, like, that scene, it's more for laughs. Like, when Elphaba starts doing her dance as, like, a form of, like, I don't care what people think about me. Everyone's just kind of, like, laughing and chuckling because she's, like, the actor is doing, like, silly dance moves, you know? In the movie, it's, like, so much more emotional and, like, just heartbreaking in a way.
I really did like that scene.
It is really good. It's really, really good, and, like, it's not played for laughs. Like,
so,
That's
when she reaches out and, like, brushes her face, and I'm like,
oh. And it's, like, their first moment of true connection. I think it's Glinda literally feeling what it's like to be in Elphaba's shoes, like, in the closest way she can. Like, she can never know what it's like to be Elphaba, but in that one moment when everyone is staring at them and judging them, that's the closest Glinda gets to understanding what the entirety of Elphaba's life was
She's
like.
trying for the first time. So that's the scene that the music extended and you're like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes the story better thematically. But I could definitely feel some other songs when it's sort of just a character walking by themselves. And I'm like, wow, they've been singing for a long time.
Popular was extended like a little bit, but like that was great because like there were just so many like funny moments that they did.
It's an iconic song.
Yeah, and it's a really iconic song. And then like the changes they made sense because it was just like Glinda gets to do funny things and like just like showing off her stuff, which is great. They almost tried to make Popular like a hip hop version.
Oh.
Because they were like, oh, Ariana Grande's playing Glinda. She's like a pop star. Like, maybe we should change the song. But Ariana Grande is just such a huge fan of Wicked. She was like, absolutely not.
Yay.
There's been so many stories of them being like, we were thinking about changing this. And either like Ariana Grande or like Cynthia Erivo or some of the other cast members were like, no, let's not do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad the cast would stand up against. Yeah, because it's often an instinct when you're adapting something, you're like, and I have to make it my own. I have to prove that I'm a writer. I'm not just copying things other people did. But then sometimes it's bad.
Yeah. Defying Gravity was just like...
I think you're right that it's a product of the rest of the movie being elongated.
Yeah, because they're like, well, we extended this song, so like Defying Gravity can't be shorter than this song because that's like one is just like the opening songs and it can't be... Yeah. So it's just like a domino effect. And then suddenly like... Elphaba's flying back and forth 5 times for like no reason.
Just zooming around.
It worked better than... I feel like it worked better than it otherwise could have. But it was just hard because at a certain point it's like, all right, it feels like we sang a verse and then we took a break.
Yeah.
For like an action scene. And then we sang like another verse and then we took another break. And then we sang another verse and then we took another break. And then at a certain point you're just like, just...
Here's my thing. Defying Gravity is one of my favorite songs, and I was so annoyed with it.
Well, it's because you're waiting, because like, okay, even if you didn't have the context of what it's supposed to like sort of sound like, you can be swept along for it, given the cinematic. Wow, I can't speak today.
You're talking like they do in Oz.
Yeah, that's true. The cinematic quality of everything, it's done well. But even then, like, these songs, and especially a song like Defying Gravity that's supposed to be like a showstopper, is designed a certain way for a reason. And so when you kill that momentum, it doesn't matter how much I feel like you sort of like try to dress it up, is like you can feel it when we're pausing.
Yeah. And it kills me because Cynthia Erivo does such an amazing job with the song too.
Yeah.
That it's like, why didn't you just like... give her the whole time. I don't know. Like, what's happening here, guys?
It also felt like it was blending with the previous song. Like, they kind of overlapped each other. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But, like, I couldn't
Defying
quite tell.
Gravity is slightly a mishmash song.
Okay.
Yeah. So it starts off with Elphaba and Glinda singing together. It's still the same song. But, again, the movie drags it out, so it seems like it's different songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That wasn't... Oh.
It's all one.
I thought those were two separate songs.
It begins with Glinda saying, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
Yeah.
I thought that was another separate song.
No.
Nah, see?
I thought Defying Gravity was 3 separate songs. One with I Hope You're Happy, and then one in the middle where they're like, we're going to get on the broom together, and then one at the end when they're Defying Gravity.
No, it's all
That's
one.
all one song.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy.
See, I feel like that's evidence of perhaps you chopped it up too much, movie.
The way they chopped it up for the movie, like earlier on, it does make sense because those are objectively different story beats. And in the musical, like they do pause in between to like talk a little bit. And then like the guards come in and there's like a little altercation there. And that's when Elphaba does her big, like, it's me. Yeah. And then she just like goes off. But like once you hit that, you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
You can't stop it after that. Yeah, because it's her big like, if you are calling me the Wicked Witch, I will become the Wicked Witch. And I'm just gonna like be my best and most powerful self despite everything that you're saying about me. And it's just her moment to like let it all out. But in the movie, it doesn't feel like that.
I really love a story. This isn't quite a self-fulfilling prophecy because it's like something placed on her, but then she's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then everyone else is like, wait, hold on. Wait, we didn't say you could do that. We just said that's what you were. And she's like, no, that is what I am now. Magic blast.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care if they call me the Wicked Witch. Like, if they're going to call me that, like, that's what I'm going to be. objectively, I do oppose the wizard. Like, I don't like what he's doing. So if opposing the wizard makes me a wicked witch, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to, like, stand down from my morals just because I don't want to be called the wicked witch.
Does this make... maybe not. I don't know. If the wizard represents someone with no magic who's just using tech to bamboozle people, and they're trying to grab this person with magic to do, like, a magic thing, is this like an anti-industrial story?
I wouldn't say it's an anti-industrial story.
Am I reading too much into that?
Yeah, I think it's more so the fact that he is pretending to be more powerful than he actually is, and he's using it to keep people subjugated.
I feel like that's a thing you run into. The idea of like the use of industry or technology in a way that's explicitly like hierarchical and exploitative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is maybe a little bit because in a way he did show up in Oz and kind of like industrialize it.
I almost feel like we have to look back at The Wizard of Oz proper. Because we have Dorothy on a farm in Kansas.
Yeah.
And then the Emerald City is kind of this, I don't even know how to put it.
It's a metropolis.
It is a metropolis.
Is it implied that it existed before the wizard got there, or did the wizard get there and like transform it into this place of excess and industry?
They don't make it clear.
They don't make it clear, but my personal interpretation is he's the one that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his plan for the Yellow Brick Road, Jeff Goldblum's like, they're all going to come see me.
Yeah.
Right? From an outside perspective, it's altruistic because like, oh yeah, like it would be nice to connect all the settlements with like a clearly defined path so we can travel easily between locations. But he's really doing it to like centralize his power. Now it's easier for me to get there and it's easier for them to get to me, which is like, I think, a form of industrialization. It's mostly about him using racism to get power, but I do like finding other little wiggly niches of theme.
No, it's true. There's an interesting evolution there where, I mean, in one sense, it's a rather innocent, adventurous story of a young girl meeting companions on her trip from a very provincial area to this fascinating city where she meets a very important person and accomplishes a very important task and gets the key to the city or some equivalent thereof. But on the other hand, with this whole different iteration of the story, it's sort of like the disillusionment kind of evolution where you have the fixture in your mind's eye.
There's no random chance. It's all someone's mistake or someone's like pre-planning. Like Dorothy's kidnapped, essentially.
Yeah. Just a different kind of like adventure story that, is coming around about when was the exact year The Wizard of Oz came out?
Oh,
it was like
I don't want to be super wrong, but I'm gonna guess 30s. No,
1939.
Oh, I was right! Hooray! I went to film school.
I mean, we're coming in like 80-ish years, so like 80 years separation. The kinds of stories and what we can consider a part of the zeitgeist popularly.
I mean, when did Wicked? So Wicked was a book first, a very, very good book that everyone loved.
And then it was heavily modified for
some reason.
I saw after the movie came out, like bookstores were like putting out the novel in like displays, and I was like, guys, we can't. No. You can't be like, did you like Wicked the movie or Wicked the musical? Read this book, because I did that when I was a kid, and I was like, oh.
Would you like a surprise?
Yeah, I didn't even get that far into the book, but I read on Wikipedia later like stuff that happens. But even like when I first started reading, I was like, it's just like a very dense book, and then like crazy stuff happens.
1995, so 60 years after Wizard of Oz came out, which it was of course based on a pre-existing story, right?
Yeah. Of all the like villain origin story retellings, Wicked is definitely the most successful.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about like how like for a while Disney was doing like Maleficent, and they did a Cruella movie, which was very good, but it has nothing to do with Cruella de Vil. Almost. Wicked is still like the blueprint.
Yeah, you have this sort of larger canon of stories, the vast majority of them like fantasy specifically, and the popularization of alternate. Well, not even alternate. It's just like, what if there was a little something more you didn't know about the villain?
I do eat that up.
No, they're good, or they can be good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little like, okay.
Yeah, sometimes they're not done well. But anytime the concept is brought forth, I'll at least give it a chance.
Well, it's like if you have a compelling villain whose history isn't necessarily deeply expounded on, they're just like charismatic as all get out, then you can do a thing like that because the fodder is so prime. Now I want one for Palpatine.
Oh,
No, I know that they've done it for Palpatine.
done it for Palpatine.
But they're leaning in too much to the canon. They're like, no, and he was always evil. He killed his whole family. And
You want your friend Palpatine. your pal friend
I
Patine.
want my
Oh
pal
my
friend
gosh.
Patine. I want. So I saw a Star Wars burlesque show a few years back. And
Did it humanize Palpatine?
Palpatine did Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus.
Oh my gosh.
And the Wrecking Ball was the Death Star.
Okay, yeah,
And
that
he-
makes sense.
It was, a person wearing like a full, like wrinkly skin suit and ripped off the Palpatine robes and was just a fully naked Palpatine with prosthetic stuff going on, swinging on this Wrecking Ball. And it was the best number of the whole show.
Wow.
And I'm
That
not
was
saying
the defying gravity of that show.
it kind of was. And I'm not saying that like that's what I would need out of like a villain, a retold villain Palpatine friend Patine origin story. But there's something there.
Okay, but here, the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, it barely has a personality.
Just evil.
She's just like,
Yeah, that is Palpatine.
But he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If you take Palpatine just as like Star Wars Episode 5, Episode 6, he's like,
Okay,
in
that's
5.
but
And then in 6, he's like,
You have to account for the
plans. Yeah, the prequels.
The prequels.
The prequels. But even then, he has this whole like, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Did I ever tell you a story? Hi, listener. We're talking about Star Wars now. But there's never any like emotional reason why why did he become a Sith? Why did he kill his master? Because he wants power. Big P power. Why?
I'm not saying it has to make him sympathetic. I'm just saying it has to be entertaining.
Sure.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll
That's
accept
all.
that.
Well,
Hey, when you write that Palpatine fan fiction, I will read it.
right up on AO3.
Right up. Hey, so Wicked is fan fiction.
Yeah,
Wicked is fan fiction.
one of the most successful fan fictions.
Anyone who
out
says
there.
fan fiction isn't real writing,
Yeah.
hey,
Just
shove it.
Anyone who says fan fiction isn't real or profitable, look at Wicked.
when you think about it, vast majorities of people have been writing fictional works like this enough for it to demand its own sort of like genre classification. And so now we have like this huge bank of works that can be considered.
Fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
easy to hide what it is, though, when you like put it in a shiny cover and write inspired by thing, and then you let it age for a couple decades, and then people are sort of like, it's great literature. It's not this fan fiction swill.
Back to Wicked.
As a story that expands on and gives context to something as straightforward as The Wizard of Oz, while also in itself being inspired by a book with a lot of stuff in it that you may not want to look at. It's sort of mind-boggling how well the Broadway musical and the movie have accomplished what they're doing. It's honestly really inspiring. I'm really excited for the second part. I don't know why it took me so long to get around to the first part.
That's okay.
Maybe because it's really long.
It's really long.
And hey, I love long movies. I will sit down and watch 13 hours of Lord of the Rings happily. But, sometimes it's just a shot tracking someone singing a verse that you've already heard for a little bit too long. And you're sitting there going, there's not a lot interesting happening on screen. But hey, it compels you.
I just think based on what we've seen from the trailers that have been released, all the emotional stuff is going to hit you like a truck in the second movie.
There's just a lot more
Yeah.
going on in part 2.
And I am excited.
Man, musicals, they'll do this too, where they're like, let's make everyone sad now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
I'm ready to cry.
And they're singing about it. They're singing about it and they're sad.
I remember when the movie first came out and everyone's so excited for the second one, and the people who had seen the musical were like, oh, you're in for a storm. It's going to be rough. Wait, should I tell my singing in class story?
Yeah.
What, you've been holding on to something?
Okay, so story time, because I finally have a story that is relevant to the thing we're talking about. When I was in 6th or 7th grade, we had an assignment in choir class where we had to sing a parody of a song. So me and two of my friends, we wrote a parody of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but it was called One Day I Lost My Homework.
Brilliant.
And I don't remember all the lyrics, but I do know like the first 2 lines were one day I lost my homework in my room. And you had to perform it in front of class, which I hated because I was really shy. And I was like, I can't believe I have to sing in front of my class. So we sang it and it was really nerve-wracking. But then afterwards, a lot of my classmates were like, wow, Victoria, we didn't know you could sing. And I was like, oh, gee, thanks. And then I suddenly like started feeling like, oh, maybe I can sing a little bit. Oh, because then we had like another assignment at the end of 7th grade where we had to sing a song from anything and then like make like a music video for it.
Oh, excellent.
So we sang Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. And we recorded it like, okay, now that I think about this, it's like so embarrassing in hindsight. But where else can you record this song except at school? Because at the time, like, it was a school assignment. Like, you weren't going to record it at home. And our teacher was like, yeah, just, like, go to the computer lab and use, like, their, like, little headset microphones to record it.
Wow.
And so I think for some reason, like, my friends and I couldn't, like, get in on a day where no one was there. So we just went to a random computer class. I don't know, like, a bunch of 5th graders or something are there doing their class. And we asked the teacher, we're like, we have to do this assignment where we had to record this song. And then they were like, yeah, go ahead. And so we sang Part of Your World in front of like all these 5th graders.
That's awesome.
And so then I started to be like, ooh, maybe I should audition for a solo for the end of year concert in 8th grade, which, as I stated, was For Good from Wicked. So I was so excited. I like prepared the part that I was trying out for. And I like was like, I'm going to do it. This is like my character arc. I'm going to start from being like a super shy person and I'm going to like sing this solo at the end of the year and be like complete my character arc. And I didn't get it. I didn't get the part. And I was like really genuinely so bummed for like the rest of the year about it. I mean, it didn't like affect my life at large, but anytime like we would like rehearse the song in class, I would just feel like a little bit sad about it.
Yeah.
And then like once we got to the actual performance, I was still a bit sad about it. But a lot of my friends got solo, so I can't be like mad. I can't be like, ugh, they got the solo and I didn't.
Well, Victoria,
No.
it's coming full circle. Now's your chance to have your solo in front of the
No,
world.
okay. It's okay. I'm perfectly content to sing Wicked in the comfort of my own home.
Ooh.
You can do it in the recap episode.
That's going to be the whole recap episode. We're extending the song
Oh gosh.
to give additional context to the theme of this of the story of Victoria's life.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to be a 20-minute rendition of For Good. There wasn't a lot of eating in Wicked.
Not really, yeah.
Disappointing. I want to know what Oz food looks like. I want to know if they're all vegetarians because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
animals, and if that changes later.
Whoa,
and that's
that'd be
dark.
crazy if the wizard was like, the reason why he like turns it on the animals is because he just misses being like eating meat.
No, I thought about that. I thought his reasoning was going to be like, I'm from Earth
Yeah.
and I came here and the animals are talking and that's weird to me. So I'm going to make them stop because animals belong in their place. Like, I thought it was just going to be like pure, like.
And I want chicken with my spaghetti.
I thought Jeff Goldblum was just going to be like, animals aren't supposed to talk. I'm from Earth. Let's make them stop.
it is possible that that inspired it.
Yeah.
Like he shows up and he's like, that's weird. And then he's like, wait, I can weaponize that like sense of strangeness that I felt. And even though like these people are used to talking animals, what if I just convince them that it's unnatural and strange?
The pathway from wanting a good steak to wanting to be an authoritarian dictator.
Well, we'll be back to report back our thoughts on the second movie, at least a little bit, even if it's just to be like, yeah, it was really good.
Hey, yeah, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Be a real bummer if
It'd be
It's not
really suck
good.
if in like a couple months from now we're like, yeah, it was just all right. But no, I'm excited. I think it's gonna at least be a very entertaining experience. And if you enjoyed this entertaining experience of listening to this podcast, please consider leaving us a rating, subscribing, leaving us a comment either in the comment section or at our Instagram at Nostalgia Club Podcast. You can also email us with your thoughts, suggestions for future episodes at nostalgiclubpodcast@gmail.com. We also have another show called Ghost Inspectors, which you can check out at Mouse Knight Studios.
hey, it's Halloween. Ghost Inspectors is Halloweeny.
It's the first anniversary of Ghost Inspectors.
Woo!
Woo, we did it!
And to celebrate, we did this episode of Wicked.
And if you would like to support us and our work, please consider donating to us on Ko-fi. And until next time, I'm the one you're looking for. It's me. It's me.
I'm not even going to try. I don't think that's a good idea. Until next time, if someone shows up to your school and no, I was going to say, like, if they show up to school and look a little different and you're like, aha, I should make fun of them because they're a little different. But then they show like immense raw magical talent and could probably just pull your spine right out of your body. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you, the freaking Oz Messiah is here. What do you, I mean, don't make fun of anyone if they look different from you because we all look different and don't be an ass, but like, hey, she gave the monkeys wings.
Yeah.
Don't step up.
Don't make fun of people who look different, and definitely don't make fun of people who look different and can invoke the old magic.